Hello and welcome to Fireside Fables. My name is Ryan and I'm going to be running or game mastering, for all you nerds out there, the Pathfinder role-playing game adventure 7 Dooms for Sandpoint. It's an adventure set in the coastal town of Sandpoint. Mighty heroes and terrible villains have trodden the past, with many secrets yet to be uncovered. Please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and all your podcasting apps. Links for those will be in the description. A quick note that our first few episodes are done on less than ideal equipment, so the sound quality will be improving over the course of the first few episodes. But with all that being said, shuffle up closer to the fire and enjoy. Hello everybody, it's me, Ryan, your friendly neighborhood GM. Welcome to our podcast. We haven't decided on a name yet, but it'll definitely be something really cool and very memorable.
They know.
Yeah, you guys know. I don't know. Time travel, am I right? Anyways, Marcus, who are you? And who are you playing? Just the name, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm Marcus, and I'm playing Zakar and Thana. She is
tell us about you.
Oh, me?
Yeah, we'll get to your character.
I'm Marcus. I work in construction. I have my own company doing that. That's pretty much what keeps me busy most of the time.
Right?
Dating. Living with Ryan.
Oh,
Not dating Ryan, but
that must be hard.
living with Ryan.
Yeah, that's rough. Well,
That's it. I don't know what else you want me to know.
no, that sounds great.
Want me to see? Tell.
Chase, who are you? Who are you playing?
I'm playing Karkesh, Kobold Oracle,
Perfect.
work in healthcare, healthcare aid. So, yeah, married.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Not living with Ryan.
not living with Ryan, not married to Ryan.
I'm very single, everybody. And John, who are you? Who are you playing?
I'm John. I will be playing Shadowthorn as a rogue elf. I don't know. My background, I'm a big fan of RPGs, still pretty new to Pathfinder, but love adventures and story.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've got a really mixed bag on experience with Pathfinder 2nd edition, so we're all going to be learning together. I've played a ton of it, or I've run a ton of it, but I've run a ton of it like 5 years ago, so I've lost a lot of it. So we'll see how this goes. But first off, I want to kind of introduce you to the story. We're going to be playing through the adventure path 7 Dooms for Sandpoint, and it opens up with everybody being called to the cathedral by Absolar Xantus. He asks you all to arrive in the morning. He's got something important to talk to all of you about. Absolar Xantus is the religious leader, and he's the one who is in charge of the cathedral here in Sandpoint. So, let's get a quick look at what life looks like for these characters. So it's the night before this meeting with Absolar. What are our different characters doing? What's Zakar going to be up to?
I think Zakar is at home. And she's sort of trying to keep busy, maybe washing the dishes or organizing things. She's trying to distract from this meeting coming up. She is somewhat nervous about it.
Okay.
Because in the last few years, there's only been 2 times that she was called in or asked to help out in some capacity, in which case, in where the other 2 characters were also involved.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't always go so well, and so she's not sure what to expect, and so she's just distracting herself a little bit. She's probably just tidying up. I'm not sure how late it is, but what time of the day is it? I mean, it's probably sort of
Evening.
evening.
It's a lovely 8 p.m.
Oh, okay. Like I would say, she's probably just hanging out at home. Say probably her kids are probably also at home. I don't think they're outside anymore.
Okay.
She's got kids, by the way.
Yep. Couple drow kids.
Couple drow kids.
Mm-hmm.
she's got a husband that's probably sitting at the table, maybe drinking tea or coffee. I'm not sure what he's into these days, but
Probably a nice stout tea.
stout tea.
Yeah, I don't really know what the word stout means in relation to a drink, but it's a stout tea.
It's usually
Means-
it's usually beer, isn't it?
I think it means short and hearty.
Oh, okay.
It's got a short, hearty tea.
Short hardy tea.
The leaves are really flat.
There's a good beard on that tea.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think they're both in the same room, like in the kitchen, and kids are probably playing upstairs or something.
Okay. Is Barnes, is he the kind of guy who would be helping her out with the dishes, or is he? Oh, right, he's sitting drinking some tea at the
He's
moment.
sitting down, relaxing. Maybe he came home from work and he's just. I think the way he looks at it, I mean, he is concerned about his family's safety, but he's also begrudgingly aware of Zakar's abilities and knows that sometimes she's needed, and so he doesn't love it, but he's very well aware that she's got powers, and she has to use them.
So, Han, what do you think this this meeting is going to be about? I haven't noticed anything particularly unusual going on around town lately, so can't be that serious, can it?
Here comes my voice. I am not sure. I haven't talked to Ambassador too much about this. I do know Karkesh is going to be there, he said. So I do think that there's something serious going on.
Well, I'll hold down the fort if you need me to, and yeah, I can take the morning off of work if you're worried about it.
At this moment, I think everything should be okay. The kids can easily occupy themselves. I trust them, but it's up to you. You have to work tomorrow normally?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
You work every
the
day?
logs aren't going to chop themselves.
The logs ain't gonna chop themselves. Yes, I'll let you know. I think I'll be able to check back in with you. I'm sure if it's something serious.
Okay.
It,
Good.
yeah. I'm sure it's gonna be okay. He knows. She doesn't know if it's okay.
All right. By the way, where'd you get this tea? This is really nice. I like this one. It's a new tea, huh?
I got it down at the shop from the flip is that place called now. Bethana gave it to me. Bethana Corbin?
Oh.
Who is she? I found her in the player's core book. It's yeah, she said she gave it to me to try. You like it?
I like it a lot.
Right on. That's awesome.
Excellent. All right, so he downs the rest of his tea. He gets up and he's like, all right, I'll start putting those suckers away. And he moves over to you and takes the dishes that you've cleaned
Okay.
and starts putting them away.
Awesome.
And we'll move on to Chase. What is Karkesh up to the night before the big meeting?
Ooh, the night before the big meeting. Well, what was the guy's name again?
Abstelar Xantus?
Absalar Xantis. Karkesh would have left because Absalar was that's where Karkesh lives, is at the cathedral.
Yep, fair enough.
So he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna head out. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go down to his favorite tavern, Rissa's place,
Oh.
because it is run by Lenale Magravi, who is a sorcerer,
Okay.
and she magically enchants the food to taste better.
Ooh.
So that is his place to go.
Okay.
Yeah. And probably would have put on a little bit of a performance with maybe like a ocarina,
Ooh, cool.
as he has the cantrip summon thing.
Summon magical instrument or instrument?
Yeah, summon magical instrument.
Sounds good.
So he has that. He has performance trained. So
Okay.
he spends some time performing, just for fun. Maybe he probably would have over the years tried to do something of street performances or even just like tavern performances if she would have let him,
Okay.
for money.
Yeah. I mean, Give me a performance check. Let's see.
Sure.
Let's see how well the performance goes tonight.
Oh, I roll a die.
Yes.
Well, that's a critical fail.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm going to say that I brought out my xylophone.
Trying something a little different, and this is your first attempt. Okay. So, what's the name of the owner there?
Lanale McGravi.
Okay. So she comes up. She says, "Stop! It is. I think you still need some more practice with that instrument."
That's what I'm doing.
Oh,
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
well, you're driving away my customers for tonight. Maybe try something with your ocarina. That lovely little melody that you played a couple nights ago. Maybe something like that.
But I need to practice to get my mind on things. Off things, on things.
Well, unfortunately, you're getting everybody else's minds off of food, and so I'm going to have to ask you to either change it up or leave.
Very well, Lanale. I shall perform. And I will whip out my wand of legitimin.
Okay, sounds good. What does that do?
Oh, it fascinates people.
Oh, that might not work out very well. Mind off food again.
She would know I have this item.
Yeah.
I would have done this before in her area.
Okay. So so you cast. What is the name of it? Letherium? What was it?
Legitimin.
Legitimin?
Let me. I got it in my thing here.
I've never heard of this spell.
So, it's in gears. Wand of legitimin, something like that. Don't judge me too hard. So basically, I can activate it with an action, and then I can interact with it. And if the last action I took was to cast a spell from the wand, the effect is I make myself the center of attention. An illusionary spotlight shines bright upon my space as I pull inane objects from the wand's tip, such as confetti, silk, flowers, streamers,
Awesome.
a long string of colorful kerchiefs, knotted end to end. Each enemy within 30 feet must attempt a will save against my spell DC, receiving a +4 circumstance bonus if they've been threatened or anything like that. Otherwise, on a failure, the creature becomes fascinated with me until the end of my next turn. Fascination ends if subject to a hostile act or anything like that.
Yeah.
Spotlight follows me, and I can sustain it for up to a minute.
Okay.
And it would just sustain the fascination if they failed.
Okay, and so it's their will save.
Yep.
Okay,
Against my spell DC.
I'm going to roll a will save to see approximately, like, on average, how everybody does. Okay, on average, everyone does okay. So I think you start to pull in a few people. Nothing crazy. It's not necessarily bustling after your horrible earlier performance, but you bring in some people. Just, all right, well, I suppose that'll do. But please practice a bit more before you try that again.
Okay, I shall attempt it on perhaps whatever Master Cleric wants.
All right. So we'll leave them over there and move on to you, John. What do you got?
So I'm currently in the woods talking with Shayla Leilu.
Leilu, yep.
And just about the meeting coming up. I'm also walking with Shadowpaw,
Okay.
my wolf.
Sounds good. Okay. What are you patrolling around or just like hunting up? Maybe hunting up some branches and stuff to build some lean-tos, make some shelter. Shalelu usually doesn't bother with a tent or anything like that. She prefers to really rough it.
Who's Shilelu?
Shalelu is kind of the unofficial guardian of Sandpoint. She's an elf ranger. She's been around for many years. She's kind of antisocial, but so she normally doesn't stick around in town. But she really loves Sandpoint, and so she will try and help out when things get out of hand. And but yeah,
Gotcha.
she's around and she's taking you on under her wing to potentially continue on. What's your ancestry? You're a half elf, right?
Just elf.
You're okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and she's an elf. She would be I think like 200 or 300. So she's still somewhat young for an elf, but really figures she's got a lot to pass on to you.
Young adult for sure, right?
No, yeah. Okay, so she's give me a survival check.
18.
18. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to say that you wait, you guys are level 4, aren't you? Yeah, this adventure path, everyone starts at level 4. So everything's a little harder. So actually an 18 is not very good. The basic DC for level 4 is 19.
Okay.
So you keep on finding branches, but they're a little too brittle, or the foliage is a little too sparse, and so Shalelu is just, come on, you got. Points out like you need more leaf cover like this, and see if you can snap it with this amount of force. Then snap. It's no good. It's no good. Try it again. Get me another one.
Sorry, Shalelu. I've been thinking about the meeting too much.
Yeah. What's I haven't noticed any particular upswing in troubles out here. Still lots of goblins around, but other than that, hasn't been anything crazy. What do you think this is about?
I'm not too sure. I don't know too many things about what's going on now, but rumor is that it could be they want to go into the dungeon, but we don't know.
To the pit?
That, or there was some big forest monster that we were gonna go fight.
Oh. Okay.
But we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, keep me appraised. I'll try and stick around for tomorrow, but then I haven't headed far south in a little while, so I think I'll make a patrol down there afterwards. So yeah, just come talk to me tomorrow. Let me know what's up, and it'll be good.
I'll find you.
Okay. Anything else that you wanted to do tonight?
Nope.
All right. Well then, you all meet together. Not bright and early. It's more like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning the next day, inside of the cathedral. And Abstelar, he is set a large table with a modest but delicious lunch. It's got cucumber sandwiches, a couple little bowls of apple slices, and freshly squeezed orange juice.
Nice.
Yeah. So he sits down and he says, all right. He prays to Desna to bless the food and invites you to chow down.
What's his name again?
Abstelar Xantus.
Abstelar. Thank you so much for this meal. It looks delicious.
Yes, you are most welcome. I see some pointing going on.
Well, I'm trying to figure out
Shadowthorn.
Shadowthorn.
How have you been? I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, probably since our last incursion.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. But yes, that was interesting, wasn't it?
Ah, yes, very, very interesting.
We learned a lot.
We did. No, we had some good times though.
I come into the room now.
Okay.
A little late.
A little late. Well, I live here, so I've already had breakfast and such. I bring my own food because Abstelar has a habit of trying to bless all the food.
It's true. He really does.
He just really loves blessing food.
Yeah. It's like, Desna, get in here.
Oh, Shadowthorn. Zakar, you're invited as well?
Yes,
Karkesh,
apparently.
you told me you're coming.
Yes, I live here.
Right. I knew that, but didn't I tell you I was coming as well?
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
no, I went out to a tavern because Abstelar was talking a bunch.
The tavern's open at this hour.
No, it was last night.
Yes.
I can never quite understand you. You ask so many questions, but then once I really start to get into the answering of them, you just leave. very confusing.
Yes, so Cigar, when did you get here?
Oh, not. I'll look at Abstelar, like, completely aware, like, he just completely ignored him. And, yeah, not too long ago. Perhaps 20 minutes or so.
Oh, good.
Shadowthorn, did you come here before I was, like...
I was here early, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Absalar, what was it you wanted again?
Well, is everyone done their lunch, would you say?
Yes.
I just started. Just kidding. Yes, it was a lovely meal. I'm still working on my voice.
Mine will adapt as time goes on.
Same here.
What do you all know of Sandpoint's history, particularly when it comes to the Lady Nualia?
Can I roll a check to see what I know about this?
Sure. That would be society, I guess.
That would be a 25.
I'm also going to roll a check.
Sounds good.
The lady what, sorry?
18.
Nualia.
Noalia?
Nualia. Nualia. That is, you know that she was an Aasimar who was around about 20 years ago, and she made some sort of deal with Lamashtu and brought in a horde of goblins who attacked Sandpoint, and they almost wiped it out. And they would have if it wasn't for a group of adventurers that happened to be there. And they managed to fight them off. And Sunalia is basically directly responsible for one of the biggest disasters in Sandpoint history.
Should we pay tribute to where this is coming from? Is this like
What do you
from
mean?
Is this from the first adventure ever?
Yeah, this is so this adventure path is set in Sandpoint, which is the where the very first adventure that Paizo, who publishes Pathfinder, it was the first adventure that they ever put together. And it's called The Rise of the Rune Lords. I actually that's the only adventure path that I ran the entire way through, all the way from book 1 to book 6. And so you play as that group of adventurers protecting Sandpoint. Go find out what's up with Nualia, defeat her, and continue on and all that stuff. It's so I know a bunch of these characters. Shalelu, I've played her before and everything. So it's cool for me to go back, even though maybe none of you guys know anything.
I just
about
know
these
that
guys.
it's referencing the first adventure path, but I've never played it.
It's so cool. This is their 200th adventure that they've published, the Seven Dooms for Sandpoint. So they wanted to go back and revisit some of these things.
Okay.
Nice legacy element.
Yeah.
This Lady Nualia, with my roll of 18, do I have general information but not detail?
Yeah, you would know that she's that she was a cultist of Lamashtu, an Aasimar cultist of Lamashtu. An Aasimar is basically an angel born, so somebody who has angelic traits to them. So they could potentially like glow or have a slight halo, or be particularly beautiful, that sort of thing.
Lamashtu.
Lamashtu is the deity, the goddess of monsters. She is truly horrifying.
So what do I know with a 25?
Basically, all those things that I told you before.
Okay.
I don't know if you'd necessarily have looked into that story, but
Only if it was if it would relate to Thessalonian lore.
no, not really.
I would have, if considering that this is a fairly major event in Sandpoint's history, would have been mentioned.
Mhm.
I definitely would have looked up Lamashtu.
Okay, yeah, you would know her. She is one of the major deities, so she's quite well known.
17 years ago, I mean, I probably would have heard about the event.
Yeah, it was a big deal, so you probably heard about it. But
17 years ago, I was 5.
and nowhere nearby.
Already a full-grown brood spawn.
Yes, Karkesh, you were.
Okay.
Were you here, Shadowthorn, when this happened 17 years ago?
I was away
Okay.
on a training
That-
expedition.
That would have been terrible to be here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, a lot of good men and women lost their lives that day. But,
I'm sure some evil ones died too.
well, yes, I'm sure. Along with, I mean, Nualia was eventually put down as well. But that's not all the details. I've really been studying this, reading into the notes left here at the cathedral and stuff. And so I wanted to tell you a little bit more about that story. So it's true that Noalia was the one who led the goblin tribe to try and destroy Sandpoint. But she had her reasons. She was just left on the steps of the cathedral, actually, as a babe. And so my predecessor, who, Ezakian Tobin, he raised her. And once she had matured a little bit, was about 10, it became quite obvious that she was an Aasimar. Now, the people of Sandpoint, they're generally good-hearted folk, but it's hard to know what to do with something like that. So a lot of the children were either, they were off-put or in awe, or some were even jealous, and so that turned into a lot of pranks, a lot of bullying, a lot of just outcastness. And as she grew up, there was more and more rumors that as she was Desna's chosen, obviously being an Aasimar, having more and more great beauty, there were rumors that, for example, her hair could, if it was brewed into a tea, would increase fertility, things like that. And so lots of awkward questions and things were done to her. And eventually she was, also Ezekian, he kept her on a very tight leash, might say, wanting to use her as sort of a way to improve his status. He never particularly cared to stay in Sandpoint. He wanted to go on to Magnamar and become, as he said in his notes, he wanted to be part of a more civilized society. But eventually, once she had turned 16, she fell in love with a young man in town, who I can't recall the name of right now. I'd have to review my notes. But she became pregnant with him. And once he had heard, he scorned her and left her in the dust. And when she came back to Ezekian, he basically went ballistic. He held her locked her up at night, made sure that she was home at 8 p.m. Yes, for a young woman, it's true. Quite unreasonable, I would say, but it became more and more stringent. No, that's the wrong word. The opposite of that. Heightened, whatever. But
how long do Aasimar live, though?
They tend to live a little bit longer than humans, but not than a regular human, but not that much longer. So, if she had lived her full lifetime, probably would have lived to be maybe 90 years.
So, not brood at that point.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
She would be an adult?
Yes, for the most part.
Then
But-
yes, locking her up is wrong.
Yes.
Were she younger, I could understand.
Right. Well, around these parts in this sort of society, that would also be quite frowned upon.
Did you not mention that she was killed?
We're getting to that.
Right.
So, all this happened, and eventually there was a horrific fire at the cathedral. It destroyed most of the cathedral, even damaged some of the nearby buildings, and as far as anybody knew, both Ezekiel and Nualia were killed in the fire. We only found out about 2 years later that Nualia was actually the one who had set the fire to kill her foster father and to escape what she viewed as her slavery, which, to be fair, is somewhat accurate.
That is understandable at the least. Terrible all around.
Yes. So she, in being that Desna didn't protect her from all these horrific things that happened, she decided to throw in her lot with Lamashtu and became changed. She wanted to become a demon or devil. I can't remember which one. I think a demon. And the transformation was partially performed. She had a clawed hand when she attacked Sandpoint, but the adventurers were able to fend off the attack, and eventually they were able to go to the nearby. It's called Thistletop. You've probably heard of it before. It's that toppled statue of Rune Lord Karzug. So they had the Goblin tribe had set up shop there. The adventurers managed to find and corner Nualia, and they did in fact slay her. But that leads us up to today. For the past 17 years, I've done a lot of thinking on poor Nualia. She didn't deserve the fate that she got. I'm certainly not justifying her actions, but I wish that it had never come to that sort of situation in the first place. That I only came to town after the fire that took my predecessor's life is no excuse. All of those who worship Desna should know better and treat the children of the world more kindly. My predecessor's failure to be a father figure is in part what caused Nualia's fall, but the people of Sandpoint were no help, and how they treated her as something less than human, something fit only to soften their own fears, or something to jealously covet. After her defeat, the least I could do was see to it that she got a proper burial here in town. Some folks blanched at the idea, but I'm glad that some of us were more understanding and forgiving. Only I feel like it's not enough. Nualia needs to know that we've forgiven her. She needs to know that I've forgiven her. She doesn't deserve an afterlife of torment. Her life was torment enough.
So she was betrayed by the town and then sought to kill them.
Exactly. They treated her very poorly, and she sought revenge of a sort.
So to assist her, are you proposing we destroy the town?
No,
Gosh.
nothing like that.
Certainly not.
I was
Did she
confused.
not choose her fate, however? To some degree, she chose to follow Lamashtu.
To some degree, indeed, but we make our own choices, but we're subject to the circumstances in which we can make them. She was put in a bad situation in the first place, and so, from her viewpoint, perhaps she did not have any good options. This was the best option there was.
Perhaps she needed Zakar as a parent.
Perhaps if situations were different and we had control over time, Karkesh.
I can try and learn about that. Do you have any books on time?
Karkesh, I believe my hands are quite full with the two I got. Where does one draw the line, however? You know, we are all a product of our circumstance, but we aren't responsible to improve the lives of everyone out there. That is too much of a burden to bear. Perhaps the ones close to us, yes, but
Yes, my parents, I assume, were very poor.
Yes,
I presume.
Yes, of course.
Aren't you spawned from an egg?
Yes, so I don't know who they were. That's probably bad.
probably.
Probably.
Well, let me bring to the forefront what it is that I brought you here for. I've only really spoken of this with one other, a friend named Adrani. Nualia's been dead for nearly 2 decades now, but time does not pass the same for the dead as it does for the living. Adrani knows a ritual that can put us in contact with the spirits of the dead, and in her latest letter, she told me that she is willing to perform this ritual here when she next visits, so I can offer Nualia my apologies and forgive her. I don't know if that will be enough to help her or to stave off an afterlife of torment, but I do know that if nothing is done, Sandpoint will have failed her yet again. But here's where the complication comes in. In order for Adrani's ritual to succeed, we need a physical link to Nualia's soul. It's been years and any of her belongings are long gone now, which leaves only her mortal remains. As loath as I was to exhume her body, it was necessary to the ritual to give her my forgiveness. But we opened her grave, we made an awful discovery. Her coffin was empty, tunneled into from below, so that when we reached it, the whole grave caved in. Nafar and I were fortunate enough to escape without much harm, but now there's a hole where her grave used to be. A hole that leads to an underground tunnel below the boneyard. I propose that you travel down this tunnel, find out where Nualia's remains have ended up, and bring them back to me so that we may perform this ritual.
This is highly disturbing, Abstalor.
It is.
Who would steal a body?
Oh, there's many.
You have personal experience.
Well, not with this body, no.
Oh, okay, just other bodies.
Out with it, Karkesh. I know you have it.
Well,
Are you in the study of necromancy by any chance?
Me? Abstellar, I believe that question was for you.
Abstalor, I do have concern about performing this ritual once we receive the body.
Yes.
To do the ritual here in town. There are so many powers beyond our understanding that it would be foolish to do this in town where there are people that could be potentially in harm's way if should something go awry.
Well, it is only a ritual to speak with her spirit, not to release her or anything like that. But,
Right. What do I know about that kind of spell, or that kind of ritual? Do I feel that's like, oh yeah, that's pretty common? Like this happens, clergy does that quite a bit, or
roll me religion.
It's a natural 15.
Okay.
I can tell you, 21.
Okay. With the 21, you would know that that's it would be a more difficult ritual to be able to pull off, but it's not unheard of to speak with spirits and
Yeah, like I don't know of any side effects of it going so awry that.
not without something with some significant intervention, and so long as nobody really tries to mess with the ritual, it should be okay.
Okay. Yeah, then perhaps I'm still somewhat concerned, but maybe less so.
I think we need to still find the body, but
Absolutely,
I don't know about
agree
this
with
ritual.
Have you talked with Nafar?
Yes, I told him what we were doing. He's the gravekeeper, and actually he didn't mention that he'd been worried lately about strange sounds he's been hearing in the graveyard at night. We thought at first that it was something going on with the Bunyip Club or smugglers or something like that, but it appears to be something much worse. To answer your previous question, Zakar, about what it might have been, there were claw marks in the underside of the coffin. The missing body and the tunnel it opens into all suggest ghouls to me. They must have burrowed up from below to rob her grave.
Perhaps leftovers from Grismar. You remember Grismar? We failed. It was a terrible time.
What do I know about ghouls?
Roll me a religion again.
17.
17. You would know that they're intelligent undead, and that they spread by via bites by giving ghoul fever. So they're kind of like a little bit like what we might think of as zombies in modern world.
Ghoul fever, and that's transmitted via fortitude save.
Yeah. So eventually, but yeah, they're intelligent undead.
Okay. Well, should we encounter these ghouls, we must be careful as they can spread their disease via biting. So if you are quite fortitude, Shadowthorn, you seem capable. I, however, don't believe I have the. I'm much more competent against the arcane and the will. I may have to gear up appropriately.
Oh, I have been looking forward to an opportunity like this. Ghouls. Perhaps we could dissect one. Its brain. Its thoughts, I mean.
Are you planning to eat it?
No. Well, consume its knowledge, perhaps.
I'm interested to see how you do this.
Yes, they defeated us last time, so I'm very curious to understand them better.
Is ghoul fever a disease?
It is a disease.
Perfect. We are okay. We have treat disease. I can treat disease,
That just gives bonuses to the saving throws, I believe.
which is fine. So if we do transmit it, we can.
It's true.
We can deal with it.
Ghoul fever generally isn't much of a danger for higher level adventurers.
Okay.
So you're probably fine.
We'll live forever.
Exactly.
Oh, Karkesh only has a few more years, so.
Yeah.
I'm
Time's of the essence.
I'm just past middle age.
Yeah, well, I mean, I might be closer to death than you are.
Yes. I do believe that this just recently happened, as they probably would have wanted to fill in the tunnel to the gravesite to make it seem that there wasn't anything particularly untoward going on. But yes, with the tunnel being found, I'm not sure if they realized that we're onto them.
Looking at that map here, where is the graveyard?
Oh, it's just on the map.
The map that the listeners can't see.
Yes, there's
Oh.
a map of Sandpoint that we have pinned up on the wall.
We're at number 1, the northern big building there.
Yes, there's the large cathedral. It's the biggest building in town. The graveyard, I believe, is the thing right next to it, in number 2.
Oh, it is right next to it.
So the
Okay. Well,
Graveyard's right next to the cathedral.
interesting.
Yeah, I figured that Karkesh spends most of his time either at the cathedral, the graveyard, or Reese's Tavern. So,
Of course.
kind of, well, Naffer's a cleric, so.
You occasionally still come over? Cause,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, and that's
Because Mike,
Zakars.
yeah, Zakar's kids love you.
Yeah.
Like, they think you're just interesting. You're like an invisible friend that came to life, and it's just
Yes.
and you will tell them horror stories where their parents will not.
Yes. Karkesh has seen the cosmos and the death therein.
I've seen the dark places
I-
between the stars.
I believe I understand where Elman gets her nightmares from, Karkesh.
They sometimes just watch his eyes because the one eye is just a bright sunlight and the other one is just dark void with like stars in the background. With
Yeah.
periodic, like the odd planet just sort of like rotating through in the background.
Yeah, and I guess to give the listeners a little bit of context about what Zakar looks like, she is a 53-year-old catfolk woman, so she is fairly advanced in age for
Yeah.
catfolk.
Because catfolk generally lives like 70-ish years.
60 to 70, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so she is definitely up there. Retired, she's retired,
Hmm.
and she does have 2 kids that are adopted because she's a catfolk and her husband is human, and her kids are drow somehow. So
So Shadowthorn is not happy with this
Hmm?
because he does not. Well, he has a lot of pain and suffering from this event and lost friends.
Yeah.
oh, from the one 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up here,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of loss, a lot of pain.
Mhm.
So hearing that this guy wants to be merciful to her,
How does that manifest in this conversation?
Yeah,
Is that
what do
does
you
that
say?
come out?
he's just silent. He's just being quiet right now,
Okay.
listening to the whole proposal before he speaks.
Yeah.
So your question for us is to go into this tunnel that you discovered and retrieve Nualia's body?
Her remains. She's probably decomposed pretty much fully by now, so probably just her bones.
Yeah. I still have concerns about the ritual. It's probably not too bad. If we take certain safety precautions, I do believe that her body does need to be returned to where she's been buried, as we don't know what these ghouls have as motive.
It's true.
Because
Or
that is highly
sorry.
disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
And Shadowthorn, you are the only true local here. What would you like to do?
Why was she not incinerated? Body and all, and only have ashes left.
Is that a custom?
Not really.
She was a demon, was she not?
No, she wasn't a demon. She was attempting to be transformed into a demon. but-
Aasimar, yeah, just to give a little bit of context, Aasimar are a mixture of human and angel.
Yeah.
So they are usually good.
Usually.
Usually. And I'm guessing this is where the conflict in this town comes in, that
Mm-hmm.
some were wanting to give her a proper burial and
Yeah.
make her rest well, where others, maybe perhaps were on the side of Shadowthorn, have conflict with that because there is a lot of trouble that
Yes.
she caused.
Kind of the slight concession that or a compromise that they have is that she's buried like in the far corner of the graveyard, not near any of the other graves. But yeah, it's not really customary to incinerate people or to incinerate remains.
Like, yeah, if I was a local, I'd be, especially because the demon part, I'd be like, why even bury her in town? Like, go to the outskirts somewhere and like bury her out there, you
Mhm.
know?
And from Xanthus's perspective, that's just even more of the town mistreating
That's fair.
this poor woman.
Okay. Well, we should seek out and kill these ghouls, study and figure out how to stop others from doing so, though. Grismar is dead, yes? We are certain. Grismar was the farmer who,
Yeah,
in the background, his place was overrun with like undead, and we failed.
yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Leading up to where we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played through a very short kind of lead up to this adventure path where the characters went through different minor adventures together, and one of them was there was a nearby farmer who was basically building an undead horde and
Named Grismar.
yeah, and defeated our heroes, so they were sent packing back to Sandpoint. But eventually, with the advanced warning, the town guard and the militia were able to defeat them. So yes, he was defeated.
Yeah, but I'm assuming it's kind of the last time there was undead in town. So
Yeah,
Karkash is a little bit fixated on it because he's like, last time we fought something like this, we lost. I want to figure out how to not lose.
that's fair.
Well, I am certainly interested in going down there and exploring this, at the very minimum to retrieve the remains and return them to where they belong, and to ensure that no ill will is practiced, because the arcane magic and necromancy is not a good, something we don't want to see happen to her remains. It's
Yes.
just, it's too risky. We can discuss this ritual afterwards.
Certainly.
Hmm.
Are the authorities aware of this situation.
I haven't told them yet.
Well, I am certain the gods are aware, as you are simply their followers.
Yes, of course, Karkesh.
So their authorities
Just
are
when
aware.
when I say authorities, I mean the local authorities, the mayor and certain faction leaders.
The mayor serves, I think Desna is it not? So Desna is the authority.
How come you haven't told them yet?
I'm not entirely sure how Hemlock would feel about this plan to attempt to forgive her. He lost his brother in the battle 17 years ago, and so I'm a little nervous about it. Plus, it was only yesterday that I even found out about this. So far, there's been no problems. I figured I would talk to you all first, and then let them know.
I believe there will be conflict when this comes out, one
I
way
think
or
we
another.
should talk to them first. I'm friends with Hemlock, so
Yes, of course.
Who's Hemlock?
He's the sheriff.
Hmm.
Baylor Hemlock.
Well, I agree that the militia at least should know about this. Should things go sideways, if ghouls are able to come into town, we must be prepared. We can't have this town be overrun by ghouls and we're not prepared by it.
Yes, we should at
We have
the
families
least send one of us to guard the entrance and then travel therein. I can set up my cot nearby.
Well, I believe we should investigate it today.
Yes,
I will go and talk to Hemlock first.
Okay.
If you guys want to go and protect the whole, so
Well,
ghouls aren't gonna overrun us.
I will inform my family of this endeavor and perhaps grab any last minute supplies that we may need before we go in there. I do believe it shouldn't take too long. How long do you think you'd need to talk to Hemlock, Shadowthorn?
A few hours.
A few hours. Okay. What time is it? Like morning?
Yep.
Okay.
Need to get
Should we-
supplies if we're gonna go
Should
down
we say
there.
should we say noon? Meet at the hole at noon.
Oh, speaking of supplies, I have a few things that might come in handy if you would need them. A number of lesser healing potions, some anti-plagues, a few holy waters, that sort of thing.
anti-plagues.
Yes, to fend off any sorts of diseases.
Oh, that is the preventative version, I see.
Precisely.
Karkesh will take anti-plagues. He holds out his hand.
Oh, yes, of course. And he heads further into the back and starts rummaging around.
Okay, so what is he giving us?
In total, he'll give you, as a group, he will give you 4 lesser healing potions,
Mm-hmm.
4 lesser anti-plagues,
Okay.
2 salves of anti-paralysis,
Ooh.
Okay.
and 6 vials of holy water. And even if you don't use them, you can feel free to keep them.
All right. So I go off and talk to Hemlock.
Okay.
And I relay the information that this cleric is wanting to do, or want us to go and do.
Always something with those religious folk. All right. Well, that's good to know. Potentially some ghouls underneath. I'll want you to confirm that.
Yeah, I will.
But yeah, I mean, it's good that he asked you for the job. Seems like you'll probably be in a perfect one for it.
Just wanted to let you guys know, could have some ghouls spawn up here anytime now, so be alert, be a watch.
We haven't had any particular notes of people going missing recently. So far, these ghouls, if they are indeed ghouls, have been keeping a low profile. So I'd say that's a good thing.
What are your thoughts about bringing back the body and everything? Your brother died during this.
I can't say that it thrills me, but it is if there are indeed ghouls, then it would be good to deal with that problem. And Nualia's gone, so as far as I'm concerned, that problem has been dealt with. So long as he doesn't try and bring her back to life or anything like that, fine.
Do you trust him?
Well, religious folks always have these strange sorts of ideas on what the best idea for the next step could be. I mean, he's not an idiot. I can't say I agree much with his ideas, but he's not an idiot. He means well, and so I'd say I trust him enough not to really royally screw this up.
Okay. You should keep watch though, see if something weird is going on with him,
With him?
with the cleric.
Okay. What makes you say that?
Just his reasons why he wants to do this just now. And why the body's all of a sudden gone when he wants to do this.
All right. Hadn't considered that. All right. I can, I'll see if I can spread the word throughout the watch and make that a little bit more. Keep an eye on him,
You know the right people.
of course. All right. Well, best of luck. And,
I'll report back once we're back.
yeah, don't get bit.
Yes.
And, Zakar is going off to Barnes, and
Yeah.
he's at work,
Oh, okay.
chopping away.
Yep. I'll go track him down then.
Mm-hmm. You see him; he's splitting logs. The
I wait into the. I mean, I'm assuming he's working with other people, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand off to the side till he notices me and has a minute.
okay.
So.
You see him wipe the sweat from his brow, glistening in the sun, the hot sun of the noon. He pulls another one of the guys over and says, "Hey, take over for me for a minute." He walks over again. "Oh, hi there, hun. What's going on?"
There seems to be a threat by the cathedral, so we're asked to investigate this. Might be. Have you heard of this Lady Nualia? This thing happened 17 years ago here in this town. It was before
Oh.
our time, but
Yeah, that was something to do with a goblin attack or something, right?
yeah.
Yes.
So I suppose the cleric wants to speak to her spirit and forgive her, but the body's missing now, and there's a tunnel. So we're gonna go investigate.
He wants to forgive her?
I don't know. He thinks the town perhaps didn't treat her right, or it seems kind of odd at this time. I'm not sure why he didn't do that a long time ago, but yeah, I'm not. It's gonna be interesting. There may be ghouls involved.
Ghouls.
Yeah, undead creatures. So a couple years ago we had to deal with that with Gizmak's farm there. Not sure if you remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have dealt with undead before. Didn't
Yeah.
go so well last time, but I think we're much better prepared this time.
Okay. Do you want me to come along?
Oh no, I'm just wanting to let you know this is what's happening, and don't tell the kids. I don't think they need to worry about that. That's
Okay.
past, well beyond their capabilities of understanding.
So it's just a quick
Should be
look around.
should be quick. I'm not sure how big this tunnel is.
All right.
Expect at the longest a couple days. So
Oh.
if the kids wonder where I am, just tell them that I'm on one of my research field trips.
Of your learning adventures.
You know the drill.
All right.
Thanks, son.
He puts a hand on your shoulder. Stay safe.
Will do.
Okay. So you guys meet up back in the boneyard next to the cathedral, and there's a little kind of a tarp on some pegs that is laying over Nualia's old grave, There, it's kind of sunken in at the moment. So, well, yeah. So, just to make sure that nobody accidentally tromps into it.
Karkesh would be positioned on a couple blankets and a pillow, sitting next to the tarp. He tried to move the bed. I rolled a 4. So he did not move the bed. And he brought out the blanket and pillows.
Perfect. All right. Well, shall we explore?
Yeah, can I roll a perception check around this opening? Like,
Certainly can.
what does it look like? What am I seeing? Like, is the wooden casket still there? Is that missing? These scratch marks that he's been talking about? I want to talk.
You'd have to go like kind of down into
Yeah,
the little pit.
I'll do that. Like if
Okay.
because he would have went down there to
Yeah,
see those
100%.
scratch marks. So is it a perception then?
You can roll me a perception. Like you pull back the tarp and roll me a perception.
Okay, I rolled a 13.
Okay, with a 13 perception, it's the sun has it's still pretty. It's like early afternoon, so it's like 1 or 2. Maybe there's a tree nearby, and so it's casting a shadow into the grave, so it's hard to see what's going on down there. You can see that the tunnel is a lot steeper than you initially thought that it was. So looking in, you think that if you jump down there, you'd have to be really careful, otherwise you might tumble down this tunnel.
Okay. Well, here's, I guess, one note that you might want to know. Should we encounter these ghouls and they don't particularly seem threatful, I do have the ability to communicate with them.
Oh, you have learned how to speak with the undead?
I have, Karkesh. In my studies, I've come across many reasons to learn their language.
Interesting. Is that arcane knowledge?
No, it's a language even you could learn, Karkesh.
Oh, I may have to study under you.
More.
Perhaps for a downtime activity.
Yes. Well, shall we go? Karkesh throws his pillow down.
Yeah, it's like,
Throws his pillow down.
Yeah,
how are we for dark vision?
Oh, I have dark vision.
I have dark vision.
I don't. I have
Low light.
low light vision, so I will cast light on my on myself.
Just you start to glow.
Well, hang on. I do have.
Oh, right. They changed light in the remaster, so it's a lot more versatile now. So kind of they combined light and dancing lights, and they also improved it a little bit.
Yeah, it's just light, I think. So whatever. Yeah. So light. You create an orb of light that sheds bright lights in a 20-foot radius. So it's an orb of light.
Okay.
That sort of floats around me, and I can direct it. I can move it around, I think, 120 feet.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And you can probably also infuse into something like the old light.
Yeah, like an existing light. Yeah.
Yeah. Karkesh can also cast that spell.
Okay, sweet. You can sustain a spell to move the light up to 60 feet. Anyway, that's just for rounds and stuff. But
Okay.
Shadowthorn, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first by a while. Just I don't want to be seen by your light at the same time.
Oh, so you want to go fully down the tunnel before?
Yeah.
Comes in. Okay.
So
Sounds
you're staying what,
No,
20, 30 feet
I
ahead
need
of
to
me?
stay in stealth, and if there's light behind me, it's gonna make me glow like a.
Yeah, but I need to see, so I'm gonna have a light.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. All right. So you hop in first.
I do.
Shadowthorn. Okay. Make me an athletics check. As like I said, the tunnel is significantly steeper than you initially thought.
12.
12. Unfortunately, you are kind of scrambling down, your hands on the side, and then you step on a root and it snaps, and so your foot goes flying out from under you, and you tumble down this this tunnel, and you will ultimately end up taking Some damage. You take 2 damage.
Does my pillow mitigate any of that?
You know what? Yep. You only take 1 damage.
You
The
threw,
pillow
you threw a
mitigates
pillow
1.
down there?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But isn't my cat fall play into effect there?
It's not falling damage. It's tumbling and like bashing your head off roofs
Okay.
and stuff like that.
You tripped.
Okay.
Haha, my pillow helped.
It certainly did.
Karkesh will follow very quickly after the rogue, because Karkesh is confident that the rogue is perfectly fine going down here. There's no reason to worry.
Okay. Roll me an athletics check as well.
Oh, Karkesh excels at athletics with a -1.
Ooh, great. That's what I like to hear.
5.
Okay,
Holy
so that's a
smoke.
critical failure. So you go tumbling down, end up in a heap on top of Shadowthorn, and
Oh
you.
no.
Oh, okay, we're getting really bad so far. So you take 18 points of damage.
Wow.
Holy smokes!
And you know what? Make it 17 for the pillow.
Nice.
How generous of the GM. Still terrible.
Absolutely a heap.
Can I
down
roll
at the
perception to see if I'm noticing this disaster that's unfolding?
bottom. Oh, you don't need to roll anything. You're
I
like,
hear it.
"Ugh."
I hear it and kind of see
Yeah, you're like, I don't think you'd be like, you're trying to be somewhat stealthy, so
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be yelling and
it.
being
No,
like,
no, I guess
"Ah!"
not. No.
But you would hear some thuds.
Yeah, Karkesh doesn't even like start to step down. He's like, I threw a pillow. He jumped.
Nice. Okay, well, I'll follow.
Okay.
Come on, let's go. Oof, 6. That's not good.
That's a critical failure for you too.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you're getting some easy numbers. There we go. That was pretty terrible roll. So you take 9, and once again you can reduce it to 8.
Perfect.
For the pillow.
So it's I have a land on your feet, but you said it has more to do with
Yeah,
tumble than
it's
fall.
tumbling and bashing your head on stuff. And
Okay.
this tunnel is very small. It's only 4 feet wide. So you're comfortable, but for both so
Yeah.
Karkesh is comfortable, but Shadowthorn and Zakar, it's cramped. It's really tight in here.
I like stand up after,
Mhm.
like dust myself up and drink my health potion.
Do we need to make use of the healer's kit, guys?
I'm already drinking my health potion.
Oh, you have. You're not even waiting. Okay.
I'm all
yeah,
right.
like I
And
like
you're good.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah, I'm gonna use the heal tools on myself because
I'll
Screw
remind
that
you
noise.
that this takes 10 minutes, and you're in really cramped, dark
Hmm.
quarters.
yeah.
Karkesh stands up and goes, "Oh, I'm glad for the pillow," and pops the cork, and he's gonna drink that back. So I guess it's what
2d8 plus 5. Two
Yeah,
plus
I'm not taking any chances. I'm maybe I'll just drink it.
the nice
Waste a potion already.
Yeah. The nice thing is Karkesh reduced
Well,
the damage by 4.
Maybe Shadowthorn wants to just scout ahead anyways.
Yeah.
I might just
I'll go scout ahead in this
I'll
10
take
minutes.
I'll take
Okay.
the 10 minutes to do that.
Okay, so it, like I said, it's very tight quarters. In fact, it leads. It says this: the open grave leads to a cramped 4-foot-tall tunnel dug through hard-packed earth and clay. The walls are supported by bracing made of wood that appears to have been scavenged from coffins, driftwood, and shipwreck salvage. Faint smudges and scrapes track through the dirt, leading south. So you head south down this tunnel. It leads off into the darkness a little bit. You can see that it eventually curves off a little bit to the west, but you would head down maybe another 30-ish feet.
I roll for
Stealth?
yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And Karkesh would have followed with stealth, even trying to stealth from Shadow
And I'll tell you,
Thorn.
I will follow once I'm
19.
finished.
Yeah,
19? Okay, great.
but Karkesh is able to just walk. He's happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so this counts as difficult terrain for you. You're
Yeah. It's not comfy.
Hey, so my stealth is 17.
17? Okay.
17, and I'll roll perception because I'm looking around and trying to see if there's anything weird.
Okay.
Oh, 24 for perception.
Okay. You can see that a lot of the smudges and scrapes looks like they were made by claws.
Oh.
I follow along now. I'm done.
Well, if you're waiting 10 minutes, then they get a chance to
Yeah.
go quite a ways down.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know I'm done.
Although you two, as you near the end, like where it starts to curve the
Yeah.
tunnel, you can hear some voices further ahead from you.
Hmm.
Do either of you happen to speak Goblin?
No.
Nope.
And the voices say,
I speak Draconic. Is there any similarity?
not really.
Not really. Okay, it's all gibberish to me.
So we both hear it. We look at each other.
I speak Goblin.
We point ahead. Oh, you're not.
speak Goblin.
Shouts down the hall.
I'm gonna proceed.
You're gonna you start to proceed.
Yeah. Going forward, like stealthily. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be known.
Yeah, that's fine.
Goblin, eh?
What are you looking for?
One of my spells.
Oh, you have comprehend languages or something like that?
No, but for sneaking.
Is it dark in this
No.
tunnel? Like it's pitch
Yeah,
black?
there's no light.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to use this spell. It's only a minute lasting, so
Okay.
I'll just continue stealthing. And why did I turn that on?
Okay. You continue down past the curve, and the tunnel actually opens up. There's wooden timbers that are spaced evenly throughout this 6-foot-high room, supporting a network of beams above to give this cave-like chamber support. The walls and floor bear evidence of having been dug out of the clay and soil by clawed hands. Several large flat boulders have been left in place, protruding from the floor to serve as tables. Tables strewn with gnawed bones. There's additional stacks of soggy, stained lumber that lie in alcoves to the northeast. And the smell of earth mixed with decay lingers in the air. And in this room, seated, some standing around one of the tables, is a set of 6 what look to be goblins.
They're not very tall, eh?
They're not very tall.
They don't seem to notice us.
No, it does not appear that they have noticed you.
Well, you're the rogue, so I'm
I'm
following.
gonna. I don't know what they're saying. I see them around this table. How far am I away from them right now?
They'd be about 15 feet away from you.
15 feet away.
Yeah, this is a moderately large room, probably 30 by 40.
Okay. Can I roll to see if I perceive anything else?
Sure.
$25.
25. You can see that there's a so you're in a tunnel that's entering this room from the east. You can see that there's another 2 tunnels on the west side of the room, one in the very northwest corner and one kind of directly west from you.
Okay.
But other than that, you don't see anything else going on. Other creatures or movement.
Oh, I try and get your attention, like a little bit of a
The hand gesture.
hand gesture, and then I point at my eyes. I point back down the tunnel, and then I do a cover over my eyes.
Oh, because the light. Oh, okay.
I point at myself and make a little walking motion down and point back to the tunnel, and then look at you, point at my eyes again, point down the tunnel.
Getting more and more frantic. Come on, understand.
And I'm waiting. You don't seem to.
No.
And so then I do my cover, and then I point down the tunnel again.
Just do the same thing but harder.
Yeah. And I go, ah.
Well, I know that the car is coming with the bright light,
No.
so I'm gonna try to sneak around the goblins, like
Sneak
just,
around them.
just
Okay.
to be on the side of them, so that if they do see the bright light,
Oh, so okay. I gotcha.
I'm still gonna be behind the light, or like they'll see the light but they won't see me.
Okay. I get you.
'Cause otherwise they'd see the shadow.
Okay. I'll have you.
Thematically, yeah.
Oh,
Mechanically, it doesn't work that way. in
Yeah,
Pathfinder.
not really, but I get what you're saying, and I'll kind of make it work.
So you-
Thematically, yeah.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Of course, you would see a shadow figure.
Yeah. You
Silhouette, I
just
should say.
kind of
I look at you and then I try to like circle around.
and then I look down the tunnel and then I sort of like figure a hook in the air and then like I'm putting something on the hook and point down the tunnel. And then I go thumbs up. Well, like I
And
do
then
like
I-
two
I-
hands,
I,
two
like-
fingers up.
Pretend I'm reeling a fishing rod and reel it in, and then like point at my head, looking confused still.
And then I go, do you see this wash of relief on my face? And I'm like, and I go thumbs up with like a weird kobold smile.
I just give you a thumbs up with my head turned sideways, like what? And I just go around my like almost
Perfect.
flanking the side.
Karkesh is 100% certain that you agree we're using Zakar as bait.
All right. Go
So-
ahead and roll me stealth, and yeah.
So Karkesh will go to the other side of the room and
Okay,
just
so-
kind of sneak onto
So
the
you guys
edge.
are moving like to the north and to the south
Yeah.
edges of the
Yeah.
room. Okay, awesome. I'll have each of you roll me another stealth check.
Yeah. I was going to go warn Zakar, but you convinced me not to.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm like,
Exactly,
I'm
that's-
thinking they'll come back and let me know what's up there.
No, I was going to, but I mean,
all good.
Shadowthorn was like very
That's okay.
persuasive.
Can I use my assurance with stealth?
Do you
So I
have
get-
assurance stealth?
I do. Well,
yes.
yeah. So I get 19.
Assurance is not quite as good as it immediately seems. You don't get your ability bonus.
Don't you get your
When you use it.
proficiency bonus?
You get your proficiency bonus, but
that not
not your ability
ability?
bonus. So you wouldn't get your dexterity bonus added to it.
What's your proficiency bonus? Or
It's if you're trained, it's your level plus 2.
oh, well, that's useless then. I'll change that
So
later.
it would be
Okay, I'll
for you
roll
a
for it
16
instead.
then.
I'll roll for it then.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
I was hoping it was my other bonus.
So we roll for stealth again.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh,
Dirty 20.
slightly better is 18. I improved my stealth point by 1
Okay.
point.
Okay. Sounds good. So, you moving very carefully, both of you do in fact manage to circle around Karkesh to the north and Shadowthorn to the south, and you just wait for Zakar to show up.
Yep.
All right, Zakar, do you show up?
Yeah, once I'm done my healing, I'll follow.
Fully bandaged, sit down for another minute. You're like, what's taking them so long?
Yeah. Yeah, she'll follow.
Okay.
I've tried to position myself close enough that they're in kind of like a cone range, but
Okay. Yeah, they're all sitting pretty close to each other. So yeah. Okay, sounds good.
Do I hear goblin?
Yeah, you hear you eventually hear a bunch of goblins talking over each other. And you two, now that you're in there and you have a minute to kind of look at them, you can tell that these are ghoul goblins.
oh,
They are, in fact, undead. They've got elongated teeth and signs of decay on their flesh.
Ghoul goblins.
Okay.
ghoul goblins. Okay.
And they obviously
Mhm.
have dark vision.
I
do.
am definitely at this point because I thought they were like goblins,
Mhm.
and now as I'm closer, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to like cast a spell the moment that they show like hostility.
Okay. All right. So Zakar, you can hear some chattering on. You can hear them muttering something about, because they're all talking over each other a little bit. So you can hear something about going to catch dinner and talk to Glorcus and yeah. That's they want to get something nice and ripe.
Okay. I stop for a second because I'm hearing
Mhm.
I'm hearing goblin, but I haven't seen them come back.
Yep.
So he's gonna put 2 and 2 together, and I think know that they are hiding somewhere, waiting to ambush.
Okay.
Because
You mean sheep?
'cause-
sheep pudding.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her gender is still female. Nothing happened when she healed herself.
Okay.
It did not go
Whoa.
horribly awry.
Everything went horribly wrong. Hey guys, I'm Barnes. Yeah, she's intelligent enough to recognize that, I think, because they either would have come back and let her know,
Okay.
or they would have talked about having killed them, which they are not.
Yep.
So I think she's recognizing that
Okay.
something's about to happen.
All right.
So I think she's going to she's gonna cast shield on herself. Wait,
I think
shield
shield only lasts 1 round, I believe.
It does. You're right. Lame. No, she will then just continue to approach stealthily if she can. If they notice the light, then she'll change strategies.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a bonus to their perception. Go ahead and roll your stealth.
Doesn't matter.
What'd you get?
3. Natural 3
Okay.
for an 11.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys can see the light coming from around the corner. The goblins don't appear to have noticed it until she fully comes around the corner and you can see Zakar standing.
I will talk in Goblin.
Okay. The like as you're coming
As
around
I'm
the corner.
coming around the corner, I will start speaking in Goblin.
Okay, what do you say?
What is this ripe fruit you need? You guys are looking for food?
All the goblins jump up and
You're looking for food? What's going on here?
oh, you speak the tongue.
Where's
You speak-
Gloricus? I need to speak to Gloricus.
You know Clarkus?
Yes. Bring me to him immediately.
They all look at each other. Why should we?
Because you will be dead if you don't, and then either I will kill you or Gloricus will. Can I roll an intimidation?
Yeah, that's sounds like coercion. This would be a coerce.
You also hear me speak to them in Goblin now.
Yeah. So that would be a coerce check. So that's an intimidation. So you are rolling to make them act as if they were friendly for a minute or two.
I'm not even trained in
Yeah.
intimidation.
Okay. Well, you got your
Let's see how it goes.
charisma as a bonus, and
Yeah.
you just need to beat their will DC.
Yeah, I gotta roll high.
Yep.
I didn't roll high. It's a 7, so that might be a critical fail.
That's not a critical fail.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we'll bring you to Glarkus. And they start to charge towards you.
I unleashed the spell I was ready to fire.
Excellent, but we will find that out next time.
Oh, this is it. Dang it.